Today on MuscleCar, the guys begin rebuilding Project Darkhorse by working up a small block stroker. Tommy rebuilds a Ford factory Posi unit, and Rick takes a trip to the Candy Kingdom in an all-new paint tip.
Hey guys, well, we've been keeping the delivery people pretty busy dropping off parts for our latest project, the Fox Body Mustang that we're calling Darkhorse. Now obviously, this isn't all the parts that we're going to need, but it's a pretty good start.
We're trying to keep the budget on our Mustang as low as possible. We still want a good daily driver with plenty of performance to spare. To do that, the first thing we had to do was lose that old lazy six-cylinder that our car came with. So we gave Summit Racing a call, and they shipped us this Blueprint 331 stroker. These long blocks are assembled and ready to ship. That means you don't have to camp outside your machine shop waiting on your engine.
Now you may be wondering what's going to keep the motor from dropping through that big old hole. Well, Summit also hooked us up with a Granatelli tubular K-member. This thing saves weight, makes it way easier to wrench on your motor, and helps align lowered vehicles. So sit back, relax, and check it out because we got some work to do.
This is a stock style flywheel we picked up from Ford Racing. I'll use a dab of Loctite on these ARP bolts just to keep everything where they need to be. I'm going to torque all of these to 40 pounds and then again to 85. I'll knock in the pilot bearing, clean off the flywheel, and made up our Hayes clutch and pressure plate. We went with our ceramic clutch to reduce slippage. Before you tighten down the pressure plate, you got to align the clutch disc. Using your alignment tool, slide it into the clutch, get it into the pilot bushing, lift up on it just a taste, and then tighten the pressure plate down equally so that you don't tighten it down one-sided. You want the clutch alignment tool to slide in and out, no drag, nothing on it. I'll torque these to 35 pounds, then move on.
We decided to mount the K-member from the bottom first, then lower the motor in from the top. We picked up a set of tubular control arms from Summit. These will help to improve steering response, and it knocked a few more pounds off the nose. And we're using spindles from a 94 through 98 Mustang. It's an easy conversion to get 5-lug, and plus they come with larger factory brakes, and they're cheap. A good cost-effective upgrade over your stock brakes is EBC rotors. They're slotted and dimpled, and this not only helps cooling, but it also helps to even out your pad wear. Now we're also going to use the Green Stuff brake pads. They work a lot better when they're cold, help reduce brake fade, and cut way down on the dust. Now for calipers, we are going to stick with OEM parts, but we're going to upgrade to 99 to 04 type calipers. That's because these come factory with a dual piston, whereas the original 94 to 98s had a single. A little bit more stopping power.
Our K-member has an extra motor mount hole. What that's for is to move the engine back a little over an inch for better weight transfer, and that's the one we're going to go with.
Don't scratch that firewall up. There it is. That was too easy. I'm scared. With that K-member in there, you can reach engine mounts, all kinds of stuff, whole lot easier.
We saved some more money going with a used transmission and pedal assembly. You can pretty much find these anywhere that's got Mustang parts. I've got to get the car back up in the air to get this thing installed, and after that, I'm going to doctor on the rear.
Coming up, how to make a sad, slippery old Posi unit get up and grab like brand new. Plus, how to fine-tune your spray gun settings.
You'll end up with a whole bunch of material coming out.
Hey guys, you can have all the power in the world and not being able to put it to the ground. It's kind of useless. On our Mustang project, we're going to use a 94 to 98 rear. This thing comes factory with a POS unit, but it's got a boatload of miles and it's kind of weak. And I'm going to show you how to fix it. For the rebuild kit, this junkyard unit, you can have all of it for under 500 bucks. If you were to buy it all new, it'd be well over $1,000.
Build on a budget. MuscleCar projects that save you time and money.
I'll start by removing the rotor and the brake assembly. Then I gotta pull the main caps and back out the carrier pin bolt. I'll snatch out the carrier pin, poke out the C-clips with a screwdriver, then clear out the axles, and here she comes. A lot of times the ring gear can get all up in your way, so I'm removing this one for now. The S-clip holds the axle gears in place. Once you pull it, they're ready to come out. A little bit of scrubbing and she's ready to put back together. We got our pause unit all tore down, cleaned up, and ready to start reassembly. Ford Racing sent us their rebuild kit with shims, steels, clutches, and a bottle of their friction modifier. I'm gonna prep the clutches by soaking them in some royal purple gear oil for at least 15 minutes. When you're disassembling and cleaning this thing, you want to stay organized. That way you know what goes where, left side, right side. Also, keep the clutch packs together. That way, rebuilding the pause unit. I'm gonna go ahead and get started putting this rear axle back together. While I got it apart, it's a perfect time to swap in a new gear set. We're gonna install a set of 411s that we got from Randy's Ring and Pinion to give us plenty of that get up and go power at the green lights, and we're really not concerned about running 200 miles an hour on the street.
Stick around. Rick's got a gun full of candy, and he's not afraid to use it. Find out how you can lay down some dynamite graphics on your ride.
Hey guys, you know, one of the most misunderstood things in car building is candy apple paint. About 50% of the time when somebody says, hey, check out that candy apple red paint job, they're talking about a color, not a type of finish. There's also a lot of confusion about application, layering, and spraying candy apples. So today, we're going to try to shed a little bit of light on the subject. I'm going to split this hood up into 4 different sections. That way you can see what the candy looks like over 4 different base coats. And I'll throw down a few graphics just so you can see how candy can make graphics look about 10 miles deep. I'm going to lay down some gold first because it's common to be used as a base for candy. I'm also hosing down some red base. Then on half the red, I'm using a large gold pearl to demonstrate a 4-stage look. Then blue to show the variety of colors you can get just by changing your base color. It's looking very patriotic. I'm laying out a graphic on the pure red. I want to show you how candy can add depth to a 2-dimensional design. As usual, I'm masking the other parts of the surface to keep them clean. Next what I'm going to do is lay out just a quick flame design in the center of this. And then I'm going to cover up the center graphic, the flame graphic, and then lay in a background graphic. And then when I unmask it and put the candy over it, it'll look like really cool. Trust me. If you're just starting out and you don't have any of this auto masking paper, masking tape will do the same job with just a little bit more time. For the background graphic, I'm just using an old tack cloth, and you can pretty much use anything you want. Just use a real low pressure and just kind of let the paint fall through it. You're not really trying to push it. There we go. I'm busting out my Iwata Micron to lay the drop shadows, but in a pinch, I've even used my LPH 400 base gun for the shadows. You can unmask this whole thing and see what kind of a weird looking mess we got going. I'm gonna lay down one more effect here that you can do real easy with candies. It's basically just a series of stripes done in pearls that fade the further back they go. The trick is to go heavier up here in the front and just kind of let it fade off. Since I've got the material opened up pretty much all the way and I control how much is coming out, I just think it's easier like this. I like to have the control of my hand. I don't like the gun telling me what I'm doing. If you want to soften up the transition on the back side there, all you have to do is take some of the blue base coat, over-reduce it, and dust it back in over your tail. Well guys, we have a nice variety of base coats laid out here that we can put our candies down over the top of, and I really think you're going to be impressed at how much of a difference that candy coat really makes.
After the break, Rick gives lessons on how to set your spray gun up right. You're watching MuscleCar. For a DVD copy of this episode, just go to PowerBlockTV.com and order your copy for just $5.95 plus shipping and handling. Start your own MuscleCar collection, delivered right to your door from the PowerBlock.
Okay, now we're ready to mix up some candy for the hood. There's a little bit of confusion as to what a true candy paint job is. And part of that is because I've seen some pearl paint jobs that can mimic a candy, but one of the aspects of a true candy is that it will actually turn black when you get it thick enough. See how it looks black in the cup? You can mix it up, but it actually turns red if you look at it through the light. All right, we got the candy loaded. Now it's time to talk about gun setup. Now, anytime you're painting anything, it's important to have this thing set up correctly, but when you're shooting candies, you can multiply that importance by about 10. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen guys do when spraying candies is they leave the pattern too narrow. If you're trying to spray candy and you got a pattern that wide, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of tiger stripes. Normally when I'm spraying a candy, I try to get the widest pattern I possibly can without going too much on the pressure. You get it to where you have a nice even pattern. See, I got a little bit heavier down there in the bottom. That means that the tip of my gun is dirty, so I got to fix that. That's exactly why you always spray a test pattern and make sure everything's spraying correctly. See how heavy that one is on the bottom? Went back and cleaned the tip just a little bit. Now I have a nice even pattern all the way across. Well, now that we got our gun clean, let me show you what these knobs here do. This right here is your inlet pressure. That'll adjust it up or down, whichever way you got to go with it. Now the wider your spray pattern is, the more air pressure you have to bring in. Now this knob up here actually adjusts your spray width. So you can go from a real narrow pattern, which obviously is not a good thing to do. You can widen it out all the way out, and that's all done with that knob right there. Now this one down here is actually the stop for the needle. That's the one that I was referring to earlier. I call it the throttle. And what it does is it brings that stop in and doesn't let the needle come back as far out of that tip. Because when that needle pulls back, it lets the paint come down through the gun and the air actually pulls it out the tip. And if you crank this thing all the way out, you'll end up with a whole bunch of material coming out. And then you can end up with sags and all kinds of stuff. One of these is off just a little bit, it'll mess up the whole combination. Now, tiger stripes can occur with candy even easier than pretty much any other finish. And if you don't keep your pattern consistent, say for instance you're running across there a couple times and oh wait, I'm listening to the radio and not really paying attention to what I'm doing. Oh, that's okay. I'll run it back over there. You're going to end up with a dark stripe all the way through it. Since it's transparent, you're always seeing what's underneath it. So if we have these dark spots and these stripes in there, it doesn't matter how many times you go over that area, all you're going to accomplish is just darkening up what's already dark, making your tiger stripes even worse. Okay, we got our graphics laid down, our gun set up. Now we're ready to lay down some candy. With the standard base coat, I like to do about a 50% overlap. With candy, I usually do about a 75% overlap. It helps me keep my pattern more even. We brought the hood out here into the sun so you can see what it looks like with a little bit of daylight on them. Your final color is a combination of the base and candy colors. Now this blue base turned purple with red candy on it. The reds got deeper and the graphics did too. The gold, being the lightest base, gave us the brightest final color. The heavy gold pearl lightens the candy and adds a larger metallic in the light. Well, as you can see, candy is not the easiest thing in the world to spray, but it can really bring your ride to the next level. Now, if you have any questions about anything you saw on the show today, you can check it all out at PowerBlockTV.com. Well, for this week, we're out of time. So until next time, we're out of here.